My name is Aniko Fangashi, and I am the owner-operator of Cube Coffee Bar. Where should I look? Sorry. Okay, look at you. Okay. I am the owner and operator of Cube Coffee Bar here in Budapest, Hungary. I'm originally from Canada, Winnipeg, the very center of Canada. And I'm actually first generation Hungarian, so I am the daughter of refugees. So really it was a bit of a surprise to my parents, especially my mother, that I would want to come back here and try and start a career. I came to Hungary about 15 years ago, and the original idea was to try something new, to break from the routine that I found myself in Canada. I was living in British Columbia at the time, in Vancouver. I thought that maybe now's the time to make a change, because I like change, and so I decided that I would move here to try it out. And then 15 years later, I'm still here. But again, trying something new in a sense, because this business has only been around for 2 years. I've always loved food and serving people, and the coffee thing was always an issue, because getting good coffee and good food at the same time is a massive challenge. I got into baking when I was really young. My mom was a really good baker, but she did traditional European cakes, and growing up in North America, that's pretty unusual. Buttercream and such was really a novelty for us, and actually didn't really like it. But I started baking really early, and then when I was in journalism, I wasn't getting paid on time, so I found a way to supplement my income, basically, by baking special orders, because a lot of my friends have various allergies, and they weren't able to buy the things they wanted in Hungary, so they got me to make things, or they asked me to make things rather, and I was like, I'll do it, why not? I mean, it can't be that hard. I made so many cakes, like over the course of a year. I probably made 200 cakes. Or more actually. I started working for coffee shops, and I started working for Vada di Tibor, who does the espresso on the sea. I made him lemon squares, and then I started working for this other small coffee shop near my home, and I was delivering goods to them. And then all of a sudden, when I had this thing, it became an outlet again for that, which I needed. When you're changing things up and you're coming up with new recipes, then it obviously is more interesting, a little bit more creative. I grew to love coffee actually through exposure to this light roast, this new way, because I wasn't a big fan of dark roast. I wasn't into this Italian style of coffee. I thought it was too strong, and then I found this light roast, and I realized that this is what coffee is supposed to be like. I love coffee now, and I drink far too much, but nothing out of the ordinary. I think I'm pretty under control. We only do light roast. We work with one roaster right now. We're really happy with them, Cosino Mocha. In this case, now we're getting we've secured 200 kilos, roughly 200 kilos of beans from Colombia. First, our roaster gets samples, and then they select the best ones of those. They do test roasts on them, and then they send them to us. And then we do a cupping with our staff. It's never easy because everybody picks something different, but this time around it was a little bit easier because the one I picked wasn't available, it had been sold. And the second choice was a majority. And I do trust my staff because they drink the coffee without milk more often than I do, and so they have a better sort of sense of the flavors than I do. But I like to have our own, but it's one that you selected that is exclusive to this part of the world. because it's such a small supplier, they don't actually have enough beans to go around. So most likely we are the only people in this part of the world that has their beans.
Oh wow.
So that's kind of cool. You can go to a fine restaurant and get like served an incredibly good meal, but you're also gonna pay for it. You know, it's a lot of money. I think our prices are really fair for what you're getting, and I know because I know where I get my stuff from. You know, I know that I'm getting my coffee from the small supplier. I know that I'm getting my my dairy products from a small farm. I'm getting my olive oil from a family olive grove, and I order my vegetables from one of my favorite vegetable shops, and they source whenever possible locally, and they have great stuff. It's not cheap. I, above all, want to provide quality and somehow at a reasonable price. I could charge more and make given people smaller coffees rather, but that's not my motive here. My motive is to make this level of quality accessible to as many people as possible.